What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Jonathan Rosales. Super excited that you're here. Let's get right on into this training. Today, it's all about one word and one word only: focus. So we're in the focus module, okay? In this module, you're gonna learn how to focus on the things that matter, because the things that do not matter cost a bigger price than the reward of the things that do matter. Focus, as I said before, is the most powerful and most important thing in business. As Warren Buffett and Bill Gates have come to find out together, focus is the main reason why they achieve the goals that they have achieved. Because at the end of the day, focus is everything. All we have in this life is two things: time and energy. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone has the same amount of time and energy. It really depends on how you're using your time and energy that determine the results that you get. Now, one of the things I've noticed in my life is the distribution of our actions does not produce the same results as others' distribution of actions. What does that mean? Is some people spend their time and energy watching Netflix. Other people spend their time and energy reading books. And what's the difference? Well, they're using the same amount of time and the same amount of energy. However, it's being implemented on different actions that produce different results. So it's being distributed differently. Now, let's just imagine. Now, on the right side, you see the blue ball, right? And there's 13 units of time and energy being used, but you're focusing on multiple things. See, we can multitask, but we can't multi-focus. The reason why is because if you use your time and energy, each of those units, to progress in different aspects, you're gonna have an inch of progress in each of those directions. Now, versus using the same amount of time, the same amount of energy, and focusing it on one direction. Which one do you feel and do you see will have more progress if you focus your time and energy on one task, on one thing, on one business, on one action that produces income producing results, right? I like to call them IPA, income producing actions. Now, 3 years ago, I was on the right side. I was the kid kicking the ball around in many different directions. See, you can multitask, but you can't multi-focus. Well, how did I learn that the hard way? Well, I became a self-published author. I created Sea Turtle Mindset. Then I started doing podcasts. Then I started doing YouTube. Then I started doing network marketing, different businesses. I was at one point in 2 different businesses. At the same time, I was working as a waiter and bartender, Ubering, okay? And all at the same time, trying to focus on my family and friends. I wasn't focusing. And see, when the pandemic hit, I lost all my income producing activities because I couldn't work at the restaurant. The multi-level marketing company was in the travel space, so I couldn't travel, right? And that was my main gig. And then the book, I really lost motivation. Why? Because it wasn't picking up. It wasn't bringing me the joy, was the money that I expected it to bring. And the reason why is because I didn't give it my due diligence focus. I had too many things. I had this thing called the shiny syndrome problem. Every time there was an opportunity that can make me money, I would go and dive all in, right? I also got into trading, Bitcoin currency, foreign exchange. So as you can tell, on a daily basis, my focus was spreading myself thin. It wasn't making any sense financially, spiritually. I was all over the place. I was also not happy at all until I started to focus. See, when the pandemic hit, I was sitting in my house, bored out my mind, and I was like, what can I do? What am I good at that will help me move the needle? And I remember sitting there with all the world going down. I said, okay, my dad's been in the cleaning business. Right now, everybody's going crazy on the cleaning businesses because obviously COVID, you want to be safe and all that. I was like, you know what? I've been in sales for over 7 years. I've been in car sales, door-to-door sales, MLM, multi-level marketing, obviously the restaurant, and then public speaking. I had a little dabble in it. So I was good in terms of talking and speaking the gift of gab, right? And so I was like, let me focus on what I'm good at. I was like, I like sales. I highly enjoy it. And I also like to clean. I love to clean. A clean mind, they say, a messy bed is a messy head. I'm always in a clean space because I like to be clear when I'm thinking and when I'm working. I like it to be clean, clear, and crystal, right? And so that's what I focused on. And then I was like, you know what? I talked to my dad. I said, hey, I'm gonna look for income. I'm gonna look for more jobs for you to clean. I'm gonna be a customer acquisition specialist for your boss's company. And he hired me because, you know, I gave him a call. And so I focused on that one thing. And then I came across Leaf Filter, where Leaf Filter gave me the opportunity to become my own contractor and start cleaning gutters. And so what did I focus on? I focused on one aspect of the contracting business. I focused on one niche, which was gutters. And within the gutter business, there's multiple different services: gutter cleaning, gutter repair, gutter installation, copper gutters, half round gutters. There's so many different things, power washing of gutter filters, gutter protection. There's so many aspects, but I decided to focus on only one thing, and that was gutter cleaning. I wanted to become the #1 gutter cleaning company in Rhode Island. That was it. That was my #1 goal. And so I focused all my efforts on that every day. Day in, day out, day in, day out. All I was focusing on was cleaning gutters. So when I began my business on my Google listing, all I focused, my marketing efforts were gutter cleaning. I do gutter cleaning. Why? Because I didn't have a gutter machine at the time. I didn't have any contractors or subcontractors that had gutter machines, so I didn't even know how these things work, or I didn't even know how to sell them. All I knew was that I can sell a gutter cleaning quote, and that I can clean the gutter with my bare hands and with a ladder. And because of that, I became the #1 gutter cleaning company in Rhode Island. And now, because I focus on that one aspect of the business, I'm receiving the rewards of the other areas in the business. Your time and energy, everybody has the same amount of time and energy, okay? But there's no way you can cheat it. You can't buy more time and you can't buy more energy. So you have to use what you have in the most productive manner that you want to the goals that you want to achieve. The goal of this is to show you when you focus on one thing, you get there further than if you focus on a multitude of things. You see, a lot of people now look at me like, oh my God, he's living in Switzerland, he's living in Spain, he's going to Guatemala with his family, he's going back to the United States. But what they don't understand is for 2.5 years, I stayed focused on one thing. See, I learned not to focus. And then when it finally clicked, I was like, you know what? For the next 6 to 12 months, I'm going to focus on one thing. And see, for the first 4 months of my business, all of the things that I learned, I applied immediately into this subcontracting opportunity with Leaf Filter. And I went from 0 to 180K in 4 months. That's a lot of money. And because I exploded financially, finally clicked, I was like, wait a minute, whoa. If I focus on one thing, if I become a master at one thing, that is the most greatest thing that you could do. Focus is everything in business. The next 2 years, that's all I focused on because I was focusing on asymmetric actions. And see, I'll explain to you in a couple seconds what an asymmetric action is. These are the concepts. See, and I'll explain to you what an asymmetric action is. See, these are the concepts that billionaires are using in their lives and in their business. See, for a long time, I was doing massive action and gaining little results. But when I started doing the one small tedious task on a daily basis, I ended up gaining bigger results. So focus is what you choose to spend your finite, limited time and energy on. Now, I'm sure you have observed in this world that distribution is not normal. See, people don't all have the same results. While everyone has the same amount of energy and time, the results are completely abnormal. And the reason this is, it's not because some people have more time and more energy. It's because they choose to spend their time and energy on more important things. You can spend your time and energy watching Netflix, or you can spend your time and energy in becoming the best in the world in something. You're still using time, you're still using energy, but you're simply putting it in a different thing. Let's just say each day that you wake up, you have 13 units of time, energy, and focus. And so if you choose to use your 13 units of time, energy, and focus on 13 things, you're gonna do 1 inch of progress in 13 different directions. However, like I said before, if you use your time and energy, those 13 units, to focus on one thing, you have way more progress in the long term on a daily basis in one single direction, right? It's like the example of the soccer balls, right? If you kick the soccer ball 13 different directions and you kick one and the other soccer ball one direction towards the goal, which one's going to be closest to the goal after 13 kicks? The one that you kicked 13 different ways, or the one that was focused, aiming at the goal, going for? See, I was burning myself out because I was going in 13 different directions. I was multitasking and multi-focusing, in which it is not a thing. And I was burning myself out, wearing myself thin, because I was just all over the place. And then I get pissed because I'm mindlessly scrolling on Instagram, mindlessly scrolling on Facebook, expecting my bank account to reflect the actions that do not produce income, right? And so when I focused all my abilities and all my energy and all my time on building this business, that's when the needle was truly moved to the other direction, right? That's when I realized, I looked up after 12 months of focus of just only gutters, only gutter business, only contracting, right? That's when I went to the next level. Now, I want to show you something called asymmetries. Now, these are the secrets that billionaires and millionaires are using in their businesses and in their lives to have these crazy results that we look at them and like, how did you do that, right? If you and I share the same amount of time and energy. You see, these multimillionaires, these billionaires understand asymmetry. And so then when we're looking at them, we're thinking, how can we fathom the results that you have? Because we're not in the same actions that they're producing. And we're not doing the same things they are. So when I started to apply this in my business, that's when I also had massive results. And I'm gonna show you what these things are now. So on the left side, we have asymmetric action, and then on the right side as well. So imagine here on the left side, we have an input, and on the right, we have an output. And by input, I mean action, and by output, I mean results. This represents us taking an action. And the depth of this triangle that you see right here represents amount of time and energy that you exert in that action, which creates the result in this big triangle, the output. Why is this important? The reason why it's important is because when you focus on one thing, on those small little details, then in a few slides, I will represent and show you exactly what the small actions it was taking me, not a lot of time and energy, but it was being done on a consistent basis that it ended up compounding and creating massive results. That's what that represents. And then on the right side, this obviously represents positive asymmetric results and actions. Okay. On the right side is the opposite, is where we put massive amount of efforts, massive amount of our time and energy to only create a small amount of results. Okay. And these are the type of actions that a lot of us business owners create in the online world that become very encouraging. Not encouraging, it discourages us from continuing our actions. These actions can represent, running some Facebook ads, running some Google ads. But because we put such a massive amount of time, we expect to have a massive amount of results. But that's not how it works, because here you're not focusing on one thing. You're focusing on your effort and time on multiple different things. You're running Facebook ads, you're running Google ads, you're running door-to-door mailings, all that. And so it takes a lot of time and energy. Here, on the other hand, you focus on one thing until you get to where you want to go, because you've mastered that one thing. And so for me, this one thing on the left side represented the Holy Grail, Google My Business. And this leads me to my next point, where you need to have a North Star. You need to have a defining goal that helps you stay focused and on the path to get the results that you're looking for. So just to be clear, not all actions have the same reactions. So if this represents the depth of the amount of effort and energy and time that it takes to do this action, the height represents the amount of results that it produced. See, you can choose to read a book, which takes a certain amount of time and energy, right? And it will create a result. You'll learn some tactics, you'll learn some skills, you increase your ability to communicate, you increase your ability to, predict and be more aware of your business. And so the results are positive. However, if you decide to go, out on the weekends, smoke some weed, drink some alcohol, and do this, it's obviously not going to create the same results, for your business or your life. And see, here's another example that this applies towards. If you do 100 push-ups every single day, this triangle doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of energy and effort. However, the results compounded over time is massive. But see, we get this idea that if we go 1 week hard, we run 5 miles every single day, we go to the gym 3 times a week, boom, 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 we expect to have massive results. But it's not like that, because you get worn out, you get burnt out, and then eventually you even stop producing any input, right? Because it's not sustainable. And so the goal here is to find the things that truly do matter and put more effort. What is producing more value takes not a lot of time and energy and effort, but you focus all your time and energy on it, that will end up producing large results. One thing is very constructive and the other one is not. One's going to yield positive results and the other one's going to yield negative results. So what we're looking for in our business is these asymmetric actions. Some asymmetric actions is posting daily on Google, where your business is visible to your ideal customers. Another asymmetric action that takes a small amount of time on a daily basis is creating a funnel for your business on a website, right? But that leads to capturing leads, okay? No pun intended. It's a massive result. Answering emails, opening emails from marketing and stuff like that, consuming your time, posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram. Like, if that's not your focus, it's going to take a lot of your time and energy, and it's only going to create a little bit of results. See, for me, I focused all my time and energy on the one place that was giving me business, which was Google. I wasn't spending a lot of time there, but I was focusing all my time and energy there because it was giving me leads. It was getting me customers. And so the small input action resulted in big results, was getting reviews, getting 5-star reviews, using each customer that came in, even if it was slow in the beginning, and treat them the best in my ability, because I knew it was going to create a positive reinforcement for my reputation online. And so these asymmetric actions that we're looking for is the small amount of time and energy and focus that create these massive results, right? Another small action that I felt was very important was creating estimates within 15 to 30 minutes and finding a way in order to be able to produce an accurate estimate. And so I started using Google Maps because I'm in the gutter business, all I got to do is measure the gutters. All I got to do is look at the house, how the roof lines look, and just measure the amount and get an average estimate so I can get them an estimate within the next 10 to 15 minutes. What did that allow me to do? Well, I was striking when the iron was hot. The customer wants an estimate and they want it now. Obviously, compared to my competitor, oh yeah, I'll see you in a couple of days. I'll go give you an estimate. No, I was giving them an estimate right then and there. I had a system in place. And see, that was another part that I focused in my business, was making fixed prices that didn't vary across the industry. So if a house calls me, that's a first-story home in Warwick, which is a city, and another house in Pawtucket, which is a different city, I wasn't charging different because it was a different city. No, I had fixed pricing across the board. But that small action that made me do that helped me gain results, because I was able to create estimates fast, send them to the customer, and close them in the same day, rather than be like, hey, I got to go to your house and look at the property. No, I used multiple resources: Zillow, Rhode Island property information, the tax accessory website, Google Maps, and I combined all that together into a system where I was able to have massive results for one small task of creating an estimate. See, that's why I offer free estimates, because I know that free makes it valuable when I can give it to you in a timely, efficient manner. Because here we go again. If we all have 13 units of time, energy, and focus, why would I waste my time, waste someone else's time, sending them to go to the house for a simple cleaning when I can get them a rough estimate over the phone? Now, when it comes to bigger projects, and then that's when I led, now that I'm now after 3 years, now I'm doing also gutter installations. I'm still selling installations over the phone. Yesterday, I sold a 400 footage gutter installation over the phone. It cost $7,500 over the phone without me going in person. I closed that deal. However, there was a little aspect where it's taking a little more time and energy, but I'm implementing the systems in place so that I don't have to use a lot of my time and energy and waste it to create small results. See right here, this big triangle is you going to the customer's house and giving them an estimate because you can't do it over the phone, or you haven't found a system to be able to give them an estimate over the phone. And so becoming a remote contractor is using this side of income producing activities to get massive results faster than it takes it over here. Because over here, it takes gas, it takes miles, it takes your time, and it takes time from another job that you're at or someone else's time that they can be, cleaning a house, installing, or, whatever industry you're in. It's a lot. And the result, it's small. And so I found that asymmetric action in estimating, which is what I'm teaching. And I hope it can be instilled in your mind that finding a way to produce estimates quickly and efficiently will create massive results in the long term versus the old method of going to the person's house, going to get estimates. Now, mind you, there is sometimes, like in the roofing industry, for example, my buddy, he's a really good roofer. So he has to go to the house because it might be multiple layers. But here's what you can do, and this is what could be determined. Close a deal over the phone like I did yesterday. I closed this lady for $7,500 for a new gutter installation and gutter protection. However, she needed new soffit and fascia, which I couldn't calculate over the phone or on the computer because I don't know how much material it needs. So I had to send somebody there. However, the deal was already closed and it's already scheduled. And that's why I was able to gain a massive result in a short period of time because I've created a method in which you can have those results. Small action, big results. That's what we're looking for when it called asymmetric. You don't want to have big actions, small results, because that's just too much time and energy. So now you must be wondering, how can I measure this? How can I measure what my actions and my results are? And that's a great question. And the only way to answer this, it's to have a defining goal. In business, in order to be able to measure the asymmetric actions in your daily basis, you have to have a goal. And the goal, we're going to compare it to a Polaris star or North Star, right? Imagine you were on a ship and you're the captain of the ship and you're taking your crew and your mates, right, to a destination. And the only way you can get there is by following your North Star. That was one of the main indicators of how to travel in this world. And so you have to create a goal that's tangible, a goal that's not micro, that is macro. And I'll discuss in the next videos what a macro goal is, but that's what I did. I focused on one thing, and that was my Google reputation. And the number one goal, the first goal, was 105 stars, right? That's it. So instead of having one, I had 5-star goal mindset. And so I encourage you, in your business, what is your goal? Is it to make $10,000 this month? Is it to make $50,000 this month? Is it to make $100,000 this month on a daily consistent basis? See, my goal was a little bit more tangible. I was able to, what I did know is because I was in the contracting business and it was a seasonal business and it was fluctuating right through the seasons, I knew that if I made it a monetary financial goal, that it wouldn't be realistic because I couldn't control the influx of customers on a monthly basis. However, when I made it a tangible goal, something that I can aim at, look at, measure it by numbers, that's when it became more real for me. You see, 105-star reviews on Google will bring you a lot of business. You're 2 to 3 times more likely to gain more leads on Google if you have a minimum of 5 stars. It's not a guarantee, but based on Google's metrics and algorithm, you're 2 to 3 times more likely to gain more leads organically on Google by having 2 to 5 stars, 5-star reviews. Knowing this, what I did was I looked at 2 components. One, I looked at all my competitors. What was the highest reviews they had? There was one business that had been in business for 17 years. and he only had 10 5-star reviews. 17 years. I've been in business for 3. And currently, let me share my screen because I don't know how many reviews I got right now. But let's share this screen and we'll find out together. Because every day I have systems in place where it is showing Rosales goods. Currently, I have 183 5-star reviews. What I did was I basically went to all my competitors and clicked on the lowest reviews and I read them. Okay. One of them, and this stings a little, but it's okay because this gentleman right here, Mr. Kurt Rocha, made my business explode because I didn't have a system in place. And that comes in the next next video, systems where I basically sold them, scheduled them 3 months out, and I completely forgot because I didn't have a system of scheduling. And so I didn't show up. But however, this is a very good example because this is one of the reasons why other of my competitors are doing poorly is because they weren't showing up. They were scheduling the job, they were going there, and they're not showing up. The other reason was they weren't calling the customer back, which is mind-blowing. It's saying to me, hey, I'm calling you, I want to give you my money, but you don't want to take it because you don't want to call me back. Don't disrespect your customers with that action. It takes less time and energy to call them back to get a big result than it does not to call them back. More time and energy focusing on other things, God knows what, instead of creating more business that create a little result. You see where the asymmetric actions now come into place when you understand how they work. And so that was my goal, was to get 100-star reviews, right? I got 183. So what's my next goal? It's 1,000. So what's the purpose of this? The purpose of it is it's a tangible goal that you can measure and be realistic. And it's a macro goal. You see, that was my only focus for 2 years, was to get 100 5-star reviews. I spent $0 on advertisements. I wasn't using Google ads. I wasn't using Google local services like I'm using now. And I definitely wasn't using any Facebook advertisements, any Instagram advertisement. And I was generating my first year 180K, second year 192,000. And this last year we closed between 220 to 250. We haven't done the numbers yet, but it's between $220,000 to $250,000 in gross revenue rendered. And I was fully remote last year, living in Guatemala, Nicaragua, Mexico, Switzerland, a little bit in the States, back to Spain, and now currently living in Switzerland. And so my goal here, and we're done, is for you to gain an attainable goal. And I really think that all of you who own a contracting business, if you haven't had a Google listing, definitely get a Google listing. Okay. If you don't have a website, get a website. I had a website that was a lead capturing website for 2 years, spending $0 on it, because a website is only important if it's capturing customers' information. That's it. You say, hey, I do gutter cleanings, I do gutter installations, hey, I do excavation services, I do fences. I focus on one product. Because when you focus on one product, you become a master on that one product, then be what they always say, a jack of all trades and a master to none. So here's a jack of all trades, a master to none, or a master to one. I don't know. I became a master of gutter cleaning only, and then now gutter installation booming. And I'm not mad. I have systems in place where I can focus only on gutter installations because the other system's already rocking and rolling for the cleaning, right? With that being said, focus on one goal. So the focus on a website, sorry to sidetrack over here, I'm getting excited, but it's to capture people's information and have an opportunity to get on the phone and offering them your service at a high value. So with that being said, focus. Remember, asymmetric action. Let's focus on finding the small actions that take least amount of time but create large results. Okay. In the PDF and below, we're gonna have a little outline of all of these different concepts and also the actions that will take you to the next level. For example, posting daily on Google. Okay, posting images of your work on Google on a daily basis. Super important, such a small increment of time and energy, but it creates a massive results. Posting updates on Google, right? Doing geotags on Google, right? It's always on Google. I'm only focusing on Google. I'm only focusing on one thing. And then the biggest one is calling your customers after the job is done, after they paid, saying thank you. Such a small amount of time and effort. Hey, Mr. Smith, thank you so much for earning your business the other day. So grateful and appreciative. Hey, by the way, we are aiming for 200 5-star reviews on Google. We hope we earned your 5 stars. Would you mind giving us your positive feedback on Google? We'll send you the direct link right now. Oh, awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right? Or if you don't want to call, send them a text message with the receipt and send them that message. It's a small action. It gains massive results because it's Google business. I'm the #1 top rated Google business in my region for gutters. And that leads me to my third point, having a goal. See, my only goal was 105 stars. Now it's 1,000. It's the Rob Levine of marketing. Rob Levine for you, and I'm wrapping up with this. If you're not from Rhode Island, when you come to Rhode Island, you go on 95, which is our highway, and all you see is this dude. His name is Rob Levine, right? He's a lawyer. And 3 years ago, he hit 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. And he used that one thing and he just blew it up on all his billboards. That's all he's 1,000 5 stars on Google. That was his face. Let me show you this guy's face. It was his face and in the billboard saying, hey, I got 5,000 reviews on Google. And it worked because everybody knows Rob Levine, the heavy hitter. Why? Because that's all he promoted was 1,005 Rob Levine, Rhode Island. Now he probably has more than 5,000. Yeah, see, he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. But at the end of the day, the man has more reviews than any lawyer in the state. The 1,000 5-star strategy on Google. That's it. Just focus all your energy on your reputation. You'll see the crazy amount of results. With that being said, thank you so much for watching the first module, Focus. Very informative, very key for your business to grow. Please click on the PDF link provided here in this section somewhere here. It will have all the summary and also the actionable steps for you to implement in your business to have immediate results, to produce small asymmetric actions that require time and energy to produce results. Kicking the ball straight one way until you hit the goal. With that being said, peace out. It's your boy, Jonathan Rosales. Remote contract.